Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. Happy Monday. I wasn't sure if that was going to be good or bad news from the crowd, but it looks like everybody was looking for something to do, and hopefully we're able to do that for you. Coach Brent Sorg, welcome.
Thank you.
Happy retirement.
Thank you very much.
Coach is now your only title. You retired this summer as lieutenant.
Correct.
In the Lansing Police Department after 25 years.
Thank you.
That's right. So what are you looking forward to most in retirement? And bonus question from our Australian supporter. If you weren't coaching soccer, what would you be doing with your free time?
So I get asked this quite often, but when you mentioned that it was Monday, I didn't remember it was Monday.
That's brutal, man.
No.
Come on.
All right. Fair enough. Honestly, golf is a passion of mine, and biking and travel. So really those are the three things that I would like to do a little bit more of, and the golf has already taken off. So we've had a
perfect,
really good weather, and so I think I'm already up to 8 rounds this year.
I think that delayed our prep for this by like 6 or 8 hours as you were on the golf course.
That's correct.
Not texting back. So, but I appreciate that.
Correct.
It's a better excuse than last season when you weren't getting back. That was bad news. But this year it's good news.
Right.
So I like it.
Josh, not to tell you how to host a podcast, but are you going to introduce people? Like, do people know who you are, who I am, who anybody is?
That's a great idea, Graham. That's why you're here.
Okay.
A little professional podcast.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My name is Tom. No.
Graham asked me before we started, what's your plan here? And I said, we're gonna talk, Graham. What do you mean, what's the plan? So clearly he's a professional, and I'm not. So let's do it.
Yeah, my name's Graham Couch, by the way. I'm an ardent supporter of all things Lansing Common and everything you guys have done in this community, and I'm thrilled to be here. And, I just think it's really cool how you guys have taken this and run with it. Brent, 4th season as head coach. How you feeling? Hopes, dreams, regrets? What are your expectations for this year?
They are high. I'm more excited than ever. Ali just asked me, one of our players is here, and he'll be introduced here shortly, but Ali just asked me about, am I looking forward to the season? And since I retired in mid-February, I have really dialed in. I've got a PowerPoint for our team meeting that is going to be the expectations of how we're going to look and how we're going to play. So it is. It's an exciting time. And I really am. I'm looking forward to it. So I think we've got a good coaching staff. I think we got a good core of guys that are returners, and some new faces as well.
What does that PowerPoint look like? Can you give us a
little insight?
Yeah.
Well, the first slide does have the Lansing Common logo. That's pretty riveting. Yeah. I know, Graham. Sorry.
Behind the scenes.
No, just kind of our game model, what we want it to look like, how we're gonna we want to be attack the opponent in every phase of the game. So with the ball, without the ball, that's our mentality and how we're gonna go about our games.
Coach, we were together at Strange Matter about a year ago doing some preseason prep, and you were very honest with me at that time about the youth and the inexperience and some of the shortcomings that you saw on that roster. And in May, we saw that on the field. In the beginning of June, we maybe saw that on the field. But by July, this was a club that was moving the ball around well, communicating really well, and scoring goals. I don't think that you were the only one who was blown away by the growth that we saw over the course of last season, and their growth into a young core over the course of 2024, a young core that's now, grown into a team that in 2025 is going to have very little turnover. Could you give us some names of some young men who you were most surprised by last year and who you're most excited about coming back this summer?
So, yeah, I had a little bit of prep for this, and when I looked at that, there were 5 guys that came to mind. And Extreme Hauk, a kid who freshman of the year, MIAA at Calvin, started 18 games out of 22, but played in every one of those games. Just had a bang-up year for Calvin as a freshman. I think that's pretty remarkable. And I knew he had it in him, but I didn't know that he was going to get that and have that success at Calvin. But another one, Joey Farhat, his parents are here, but Joey played in 9 games for Aquinas. He averaged about 35 minutes a game. A couple guys that were high school kids, Owen Resch and Rourke Watterson. Those guys are both seniors. So I think I know they both had really good years, and excited to have those guys. And then Sammy Omar, I think, really was a kid who brought a lot of energy for us, and he's going to fit into this model of how we're going to play. And right, he took a nasty collision last year and ended up with a broken jaw, but we're excited to have him back. So really, when I look at those 5 guys, you talk about young talent, I think those guys are going to all see meaningful minutes for us for this season.
You only got 4 new players, correct? Is that the plan right now? Is it? You're pretty familiar with this group. Let's start there. Can you just describe sort of in detail the style that you really want to see? You sort of alluded to that a little bit. What you really want from this group, at least to start the season, what you want.
Sure. So we will. My thought is we're going to play out of a 4-2-3-1 formation. Okay. It's going to be
little news for everybody there. Ken's very excited. He's taking notes.
Ken's shaking his head. Sorry, Ken. He's okay. That's all right. So, but that has to be flexible, right? You can't just it's not hard and fast. But minimum width and net, which is really for us, is we're going to play close together. It's not going to be where you see typically where your wingers are spread out. You're going to see a more narrow, because when we win the ball, we want to go vertical, and we want to get into pockets of space, into half spaces, and create dangerous goal scoring opportunities. When I looked at us last year, and maybe even in years past, I just don't think that we've been as dynamic in front of goal that we should have. And to win at this level, you need 2 things. You need goal scorers, and you need someone who can stop goals from being scored. And so, again, I go back to that minimum width and the kind of the net mentality, the visual of being closer together. So when upon losing possession of the ball, you're immediately able to close and put the opponent under pressure. That's the idea. Is it going to be, it's not 100% every single time. There will be different tactical decisions that we make as a staff and with our players in terms of how we approach. So you may see us come out of the gate flying, but maybe the second half we draw a different line of confrontation. So,
to that end, one of the most consistent things about Lansing Common has been good goalkeeping. How excited are you to have Sean O'Meara back this summer, and who's behind Sean?
Yeah, so Sean and Brooks Boersma. Brooks is at Butler University, and he's got some definitely got minutes this spring with them, but I think he was their number 2, so I don't think he got many minutes in the fall. But and Sean conversely graduated from Western Michigan, didn't see the field for them, but of course when you're at that level playing Division I, just like Brooks, you're getting your repetition, your goalkeeper coach. You're getting lots of reps in front of goal. You're getting those are all good things. So both of those guys are going to be very impactful for us this year.
Coach, I heard some breaking news for me this afternoon, which is one of our assistant coaches is a familiar face to fans of the Robins.
That is correct. Our new goalkeeper coach is Andrew Nicholson. Andrew played at Michigan State, played for us for a year, and he's here getting his master's and then going on for his doctorate, but excited. When I reached out to Andrew, it was, I think, it was like we had the conversation about him playing for Common. So he's excited to kind of establish himself as a young coach. It'll be good.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room, or the center back in the room, I should say. Kevin Payne, Lansing Common legend, has retired from competitive soccer. How big of a loss is that for this year's squad, and who should we be excited about who's coming up next?
Yeah, so losing KP, Munir, guys that have been established and with the team, right? It's always a challenge and difficult to replace. But as we talked about earlier, you asked the up-and-coming players and that youth, those players are going to provide an impact. Do you lose some experience? Of course you do. KP was a vital role, but excited that we have Miles Foster, Michigan State center back, with us this year. So, yeah, I think we will, as a coach, you're always putting pen to paper and drawing out schematics and starting lineups and whatnot. But I'm not worried about our back line, despite losing KP. Love the young man. When I reached out, I did reach out to him. I should tell you, I did, because I thought I could get him back just as a, hey, just 15 minutes a half or 15 minutes a game. And he said, Coach, I appreciate it, but I've hung up my boots for good. So I think he's going to do some coaching, and he's still finishing his degree. So, but yeah.
I think we'll probably see him in the stands at a few games this year.
He told me him and his mother are definitely coming. So, yeah.
Josh, he could be available on your rec teams.
That's
then
right.
if he's done with the professionals.
Graham, please, our rec team.
Our rec team, sorry. Yeah.
Maybe he could even do some color.
There you go. I don't doubt that for a second.
Correct. I think he would be
he'd
good.
add a lot in the booth.
Yeah.
The homegrown aspect of this roster is always a huge focus for Lansing Common as a community club. No exception this year. Guys like Ali Ahmad, Sammy Contreras, Owen Resch, Colin McKay all went to high school in the city limits. And, of course, 15 more rostered players are from the Lansing area. What does it say about this region's soccer quality that Lansing Common has been able to build a consistent winning roster with a focus on guys from here? And how meaningful is that as somebody who's a longtime fixture in our local soccer community?
I've been in the Lansing area for about 30 years now, and it doesn't surprise me that the quality that we have coming out of this area, it's a credit to, I think, obviously, parents getting kids to within certain clubs. I think the local coaches have done a phenomenal job, but it speaks volumes when, like you alluded to, Graham, that the number of players that have so much success and are playing collegiately that are from this area and that we're able to bring in to Lansing Common. That adds an element of excitement. It's funny when you start to build a roster and you look at your seniors who are committed to go play collegiately. That's exciting. It brings another level of like, all right, well, maybe we need to have a conversation. Can we bring this young man in? So I think that's it's good.
Let's talk to Ali right now. Lansing Everett product. We were really excited the very first time that we announced this signing. But Ali, as somebody who comes from Lansing, what's it mean to you to be able to have an opportunity beyond high school to play right here in your hometown?
First of all, thank you for having me. I'm kind of nervous. This is the first time doing something like this with the big boys,
Just talking?
just talking, that's
what we're
being
doing.
Around you guys. But so yeah, thank you so much for having me. But no, it's very exciting. The first time I have experience playing like USL2 and all, but I played for Lansing Common like a couple years ago, and this was like, I think looking back, this was like the best experience of my life, basically playing soccer-wise. So it was very like, for me it was like right away, yeah, I want to play there again. I want to be. Now I'm like one of the older guys, so now like I come with a little bit of responsibility and how I carry myself and how I am to other players, especially the high school players that we have or the younger players. They look up to someone. I don't not really look up to someone like me, but having someone like me or, just older players, it helps them a lot. Just like when I was playing, I had Jack Beck, Munir, Kevin Payne. I was a little experienced, but it was so fun having those guys and just learning from them. So, but no, just being from Everett, just graduating from Everett High School, I didn't really get to play that much, but just it's like one of the best feeling. I don't have to drive anywhere. You know what I mean? And it's like just playing for the team from your city and just representing your cities is a great experience, and I'm excited for it.
So you've got another summertime activity, your small business that's a little soccer related. Tell the people about that, because I think that's a little unique. Not everybody on the squad is going to be playing soccer in their free time and also playing soccer, at training on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So talk a little bit about what that's like.
Yeah. So there's a quote by Conor McGregor, right? He got it from somebody else, and it says, I've lost my mind in this game. Like, I've lost my mind in the process of this game, and it doesn't matter because, it's going to be worth it. So for me, it's the same. Like, I love the game so much, and I'm willing to kind of like lose my mind in it, whether it's playing, coaching, helping kids, So just like even on my free time, I'm thinking about soccer. So I created Path to Pro a couple years ago because I thought I was going to go pro. But, that's not happening just yet. But, now I'm just helping kids, helping kids become pros or just carry myself like a pro to these little kids, young kids, especially this summer that they're going to come out and watch me play. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, Path to Pro, I've started that, and I'm basically coaching. I coach about 7 hours today. So, and then I'm going right back after here. So.
I was going to say, we got to get you out of here pretty soon. So,
yeah.
And that's so special to us as a club because finding ways to get involved in the youth game and finding ways to create those pathways to kids who aren't otherwise going to have it is really important to us. And we've tried a few different things, but having players on the squad who come to that on their own to be able to do the same thing is really special. So we all really appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
But best summer of his life, he said. So no pressure for this year.
Exactly.
What age kids do you coach?
I coach kids like any age,
Like, what's the youngest kid you coach right now?
Youngest kid, I say this kid named Max. Shout out to him. He's really good. He's 7 years old, I think, but he is good. He's probably gonna be one to look out for Lansing Common in a couple.
Should we
years.
sign him now or no?
No, it's too early.
I'm not, Steve. What are the league rules for something like that? All right,
Yeah.
Great, perfect. If it doesn't exist now, it will by the end of the night.
So yeah, I coach. That's the youngest I coach, but I have experience coaching. I coach women's team and men's team from Michigan State. Miles Foster, he kind of helped me with that, and I'm really close with him. So again, I'm excited to play with him this summer, and so yeah. When it comes to age, there is no age. I can coach whoever I can coach, but my main focus is on the youngest. Try to produce the next Messi for Lansing Common.
Coach, did you know about the relationship that he had with Miles? Because for a lot of us, it was the Michigan State connection was great, the D1 experience was great, and then to find out that there was some built-in chemistry on the squad between two guys was like a bonus on top at the end of the day. Was that something that helped seal the deal for you, or was that something you found out later from Ali? Uh-oh.
Ali is well connected. And
he's recruiting too.
Yes, he's helping, and that's fantastic. He's an advocate for us in Lansing Common, a really good ambassador for us, and I think at the end of the day, he helped get Miles here. So I think that's credit to Ali.
That sounded like a setup, but I swear it was not. I just came up with that. I was just curious.
No, it's always good to have good players like Miles in the team,
So, Coach, talk a little bit about how important it is that Lansing Common players, but also staff and volunteers and other coaches get better as people during the season rather than just be good at their jobs.
I think at the end of the day, we all tout Lansing Common as being the best club in the Midwest Premier League, probably the best club in the world, quite honestly. And it's because of the people, right? Everyone does take care of their business. It's treated like a professional operation, and the players appreciate that. The coaching staff, again, we always try to, each year during the off season, we always try to find little things to make ourselves better. But we want good people in this organization. We want to represent Lansing, the Lansing community, and we want to do it in the right way. And so when you're building a roster, that's an important piece to it, right? I had several players reach out to me about joining, okay? My first phone call is back to the coach that they play for to say, how are they as a player? And I'm not talking about how are their skills. Are they a good teammate? Do they show up? Are they committed? Do they complain? How are they with the referees? How are they? Are they coming off the bench? Are they a starter or a guy that's coming off the bench? Oh, he's a practice player. Okay, how is he? How is he taking that approach? All those things matter because we don't want bad apples in our organization. And as best that I can, within my control, at least from a player standpoint, I'm going to make sure that we do our part to bring good people here. I don't know if I answered the question, but
no, it was variations on a theme too, because we were talking about what Ali does in his free time outside Lansing Common.
Right.
How many players have you had to turn down because they weren't the right fit? Quite a few?
There's a handful, yeah.
Can we name them?
No.
No. Okay, that's fair.
Well, thanks, Graham.
That's for a later episode.
Oh, yeah.
After
right.
they get
off the air.
We are going to get Ali out of here now because he's got to get to his job, and we are going to invite members of the audience to come up and take his spot at the microphone and ask whatever questions you might have.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. See you Friday.
Don't be
Ken's
shy.
looking.
Yeah.
I'm Ken Seelman from the Coffee Firm Coffee Podcast.
Hi, Ken. Good evening.
That's a professional.
Coach,
he introduced himself.
How you doing?
Imagine that.
You've lost some key players this year. You mentioned KP. You mentioned Munir. We lost him. Who besides the young crew that you mentioned, who are some of the guys you're looking to step up as a leadership role for this season?
I look at a kid like Max Crawford. I think had a really good year for us last year. He's well respected because of how he goes about his business. He takes the right approach. He's hardworking. He's committed, and so I think I would say it if he was in here. But Ali, I think he's a guy that's players do look up to because of his just what he's been through and how he has. Ali works, and is he necessarily a leader? That will be to be seen. But I think those are two guys kind of off the top of my head that I kind of am looking for.
Okay, and then you mentioned a little bit about formations. Is there a specific formation that you prefer to coach your team at, or does it just depend on who you're playing against? And then lastly, does Max Crawford have the green light to go forward whenever he wants to?
Wow. No. Max does not have the green light to go forward.
Well, in the stands, we want him to go forward whenever he can.
We do. I would say if we're winning in the last 10, 15 minutes, I don't want Max Crawford going forward, but that's a game time decision. But otherwise, we do. We want Max going forward. So back to your
formation question. Is there a specific formation that you prefer to play?
I mentioned it 4-2-3-1. 1-4-2-3-1, and I think out of that your double sixes, they call them sixes for the novice, but I want our line of 3 and our 1 to interchange and be, again, forward-thinking, runs in behind, a lot of penetrating, incisive runs, and that's going to be the direction that we're going to go with. And when that happens, and they do that, if they operate that way, Ken, what happens when they make that run? There's a void, right? That's where our sixes have to jump in to those pockets of space, or our outside backs, so we're in those zones so we can properly defend or attack when the opponent wins the ball. So 4-2-3-1 will be our starting shape. Again, it could change within from game to game, but I'm pretty well set on how we want to go about our business.
And then lastly, you mentioned a little bit about the quality of players that you recruit. So it always seems to me that you have good soccer players, but even better people as far as on the team or in the organization. Can you expound a little bit about on that?
Of course. I think anytime you're in a team, family type unit like this, I think there's not only pressure to perform from on the field, but when the expectation of everyone in the group is, hey, everyone's going to help clean up afterwards. We're going to pitch in and clean up the locker room. Things like that. When we travel on the bus is clean when we get off. Like, those little details to me matter. And when you start building and setting those expectations, you create this culture where those that have been here already know that, and they're going to just share that with the new guys. Like, hey, no, we do these things. We want to be good people. We're not going to swear at the referees. We're not going to tout and gloat when we go up a goal to the opponent. Can you have some good banter? Of course, but we want to be good citizens.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Coach, we've obviously talked about so many different names. We've practically walked all the way through the starting 11 here with just you freestyling, answering questions about who you were most excited about. But a lot of those guys are slotted in at the same positions, as you know. And so, from your perspective, other than fresh legs and who's ready to go, is there a chemistry or a personalities component and what's your philosophy as it comes to thinking about how the pieces fit together and who's ready to go and which lineups are best together, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it does. For me, it is the group that's getting the job done, really, and it's. I think at any level, even the pros, you can see players who don't have good nights, and what happens? They get rotated out. I mean, it's that simple. So that's going to kind of be our approach. I mean, I anticipate we're going to use probably all of our subs. That's what I would anticipate.
Just so folks know, yes, I was going to say, Jordan Stoddard, you are welcome to step up to the mic whenever you want. We're going to keep rolling through our scripts so that we don't have any long silences, but feel free, after Jordan's done, to come up and ask your questions of Coach.
Yeah, this is just kind of like continuing on with that question about substitutions. Last year, the Midwest Premier League changed their rules to allow I think it's the college rules substitutions. I'm not sure if that's exactly the same, but how does that change your approach to the game? How did that change it last year, and how does it change it going forward?
Yeah, I think it's just us being dialed in, because knowing how we want to play and what the expectation is like figuring out, okay, is this player going to be 60 to 75 minute player, or are they a 90-minute player? And then, of course, we talk about production, but you're going to see this summer we've got to have a deep bench. We've got to have a roster that is guys can fill that role and that there's no drop-off. And that's what we're hoping for, and that will be kind of the expectation.
Jordan Stoddard's happy. I'd love to see it. I'm just glad we didn't get into a situation where we had to bring league president Steve Beckman up here to explain the substitution rules, because I'm quickly out of my depth on that one. So
I wrote the rule book.
that's what I'm saying. Coach, I'm going to ask this question, even though we have talked to this guy and the role that he brings almost to death already. We can all name some emotional leaders, the heart and soul of our favorite soccer team. Lansing Commons had a few of those over the years, guys like Julian Burge, Josh Rosendale, plenty of other names coming to mind around the room, I'm sure. Often those leaders make a tremendous impact on games that doesn't necessarily show up on the score sheet. So sometimes, though, you get emotional leaders who are also scoring goals, winning challenges, and drawing fouls, guys like Max Crawford. Can you talk about how nice it is as a coach to have a player like that in such a valuable position, who is a tremendous player but also is an emotional leader?
Yeah, that's why I answered the way I did when Ken asked the question about looking at leaders. Max is one that will be looked at. We'll see who else rises to the occasion. That's the other thing I feel like with this group is that there's no egos. They just want to go and compete and try to put on the best product they can, and then win, of course, for Lansing. I look at like guys like Sean O'Mara, Spencer Poe are back in the mix, Avery Dresky, some senior guys that have been around the block, have had a couple seasons under their belt with us, kind of know the expectation. So, and then we'll see what the younger core brings, right? Maybe one of them rise to the occasion. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what our leadership looks like, and there's going to be I'll say this. I think there's at any team you come into, obviously there's new guys, some guys that are out, KP, Mooney, right? So there's an opportunity presents that there will be a half a dozen guys trying to vie for maybe two positions, and it's, that competitiveness that is healthy. I think it's and so we'll select the best two. So
we've got two more from the audience. Rufus could not be here tonight, but he asked this in the Discord. First, what is your favorite away field to play at in the Midwest Premier League, or outside the league but with Lansing Common?
Well, I think probably the best atmosphere is the 1927, who I think also will be our biggest rival this year, from the standpoint of they were selected by the media to win it. But
out-of-state media exclusively, I believe.
Media? Yeah.
Well, right. Hey, whoever they are, they're going to be disappointed because they're going to get it wrong. And we're going to show them. But back to Rufus's question, though.
Favorite away field?
Favorite away. 1927 does have a pretty cool setup in that they have a clubhouse, and the clubhouse, I see some of the supporters are holding up their beer because they're able to get a beer on tap, and kind of it's a fun environment. But it is a grass pitch, which is okay. I'm a traditionalist. I like grass, but of course, as you well know, we play on turf, so I think many of our players are more comfortable playing on a turf pitch. But if I had my way, I would rather us play all grass games.
Interesting tidbit. I don't think Rufus was expecting that from that question, but I like it. And then second, is the branch too loud, too quiet, or just right during home games?
The branch does an excellent job. I'll say that. What I would like, and I think I've mentioned this before, and that's hard because I'd like the branch to be closer to the field.
Yeah. You and me both,
right?
brother.
They got the track, and could we put in stands behind the goal, and then they visit the away goalkeeper? That would be kind of a nice touch.
But like stands on wheels that went around the track and went to wherever the least convenient place for the opponent was?
Probably not at Eastern Stadium, but
Seems
TBD.
like a call needs to be made, yeah.
No kidding. And I think if our opposing fans could ask the question, they would ask if the branch is too loud, too quiet, or just right during away games, specifically in Holland, Michigan. But I think we know what they would say there.
We know the answer.
Coach, a number of our supporters and some friends we've made across the world participate in the Northern Michigan Faux Football League. The league table has expanded to 62 clubs across 3 different leagues. With promotion and relegation, all games are decided by dice rolls, and towns from Iron Mountain to Whittemore are represented. What Northern Michigan city do you think needs its own soccer club, and what would you call it?
Is there one in Interlaken?
Well, maybe there needs to be another one. We could have an Interlaken derby. I don't know the answer to that question.
Is that it?
There used to be. Well, there might be an opening.
All right. I mean, something along the lines of Interlaken Arts Football Club. I don't know, something. That's what I was thinking.
I think everybody in the league took a little bit longer than you just had to come up with their name, so you're forgiven.
Okay, thank you.
And Jeff Sykes will help you with the logo and merch too.
Perfect. Great.
You want it ready to go rapid fire?
Okay.
All right. We'll start here. Have you read all these? Because I don't like that you know these.
Let's see.
Should we change it up?
Graham, you can freestyle if you want.
All right.
Yeah, you could.
We'll start on script and we may go off. How do you take your coffee?
Black, little bit of cream.
Okay.
Yep.
Favorite
Should we get Ken up here to answer these?
Oh, he may be able to, but go ahead.
favorite television show?
Ooh. I don't watch a lot of TV. When I do, it's usually I flip on sports. So, I think I know that's kind of a lame answer, but
He's on brand.
That's
favorite.
That's
no
what I
favorite
got.
police drama or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't watch those shows.
Okay.
Those
Graham,
are,
which serial about journalism do you favorite when you go home at night?
Oh, I do watch a lot of journalism shows. I mean, The Paper with Michael Keaton and Marissa Tomei is a phenomenal movie, by the way. Proposed to my wife while watching that movie. All right, favorite drink at Ozone's?
one of the IPAs.
All right, best walking or biking route in the Lansing region, or as somebody who was on the force for 25 years, worst biking route or walking route in the Lansing region? Either way you want to answer that.
You don't ride your bike on the city of Lansing streets because most of them are pretty poor condition. But of course, getting around campus is nice. Because I live in East Lansing, I go to the east when I bike, and kind of Hazlitt, Williamston area is where I found some of the back roads, and so.
Did you ever bike to work when you were at Williamston High School?
No.
Oh, probably would have been a little sweaty when you got there.
Yeah.
Complicates things.
All right, your favorite soccer team other than Lansing Common?
Man City.
When did that start?
Jeez.
Many years ago.
How did it start?
It was even before Pep was there. So I don't know. There was something about watching them, and in the late 80s, 90s, that I just kind of found that I like this team. There's something about, and I like the club, and so that's who I support.
Is there a club you like hate and you take pleasure in their defeats?
Well, yeah, the other
Man U.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Man U.
Graham was really hoping for another answer there, but we'll get it. That's for another show.
Favorite player?
Kevin De Bruyne.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Chances he'll be in the United States next year? You think Chicago Fire?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. Very cool.
I thought you were going to say Kevin Payne.
KP's favorite.
He's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there. But
Top 5 Kevins.
yeah, correct.
Let's close with some individual and team predictions for Lansing Common this year.
Okay.
You first.
So team predictions. I think we're going to have a breakout year with we're going to score more goals than we ever have. We will see how because of how we're going to play. Does that mean that we give up some? And I think the answer is yes, because there's a potential where there's a breakdown and maybe we do get countered. But it's risk versus reward. So I think, again, I think we're going to have a breakout year in terms of goals. I think you're going to see, I don't know. I hope with us playing 1927 just one time on the road that we can get a result there. That would be massive. And that one's kind of circled. But, of course, we know we have there's going to be tough outfits along the way. There's good players in every one of these teams. So I look for guys, again, like I think Extreme and Ben Novello's back with us. Ben Novello had a good year down at Rhodes. So I think he's a kind of a senior guy. I expect those two guys to produce and get on the scoreboard for us quite a bit. So I think those two guys should be our leading scorers.
Yeah, you kind of set that up for me perfectly because you took the ones that I didn't want to say because they're almost too obvious, but I will go with overlooked goal scorer, which is Brett Swatton. Without giving too much away, I like where he's at in the formation coming up this year, which will be coming out here, if not in a few days, then in a week and a half. And I like Rourke Watterson if he's able to put in a full season to lead the team in assists.
Like it.
And then, top the table, obviously.
Yeah. And for the viewers, Swatty's not a left back.
We're going to leave it there.
Yes, I'll share that.
I'll make a prediction that the live streams triple in views and you become a mini celebrity in town, Josh.
Mini celebrity. Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Thought I was already there. No. We're all playing catch up to you, brother.
Will you just sign now and then just get it out of the way?
Buy low. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. We're going to be around to hang out for a little bit. Coach is retired now, so he's going to have some IPAs. And to our listening audience, we're hoping to do a few more of these this year, starting with some assistant coaches, and then we'll see where it goes from there. We know Max Crawford is always down to chat with us. We know Ali is always down to chat with us. And we know that we're going to make some new friends this year as well, as we always do. So thanks, everyone, and enjoy your night.
Thank you.